So from the above question, we are actually given to find the general solution for this particular equation. Look at our equation. Our equation is simply having what? D square y over what? Dx square minus 5y over dx plus 6y, and that is equal to what? 2 sine 4x. Are we together? So basically this question is having a trig function, which is a what? Sine 4x. Are we together? So the first thing you do is to check your equation if it's homogeneous or not. We can see that our equation is what? Non-homogeneous, because it is not equated to what? 0. So this is a non-homogeneous what? Equation. After doing that, the next thing is to consider our given equation. If we are considering our given equation, you recall your what? Your auxiliary equation. For you to find the auxiliary equation, you always what? Assume. So since we want to get our auxiliary equation, we are going to assume that the y over the square y over the x square will be equal to what? M square. The y over what? The x will be equal to what? M. And 6y there will be equal to what? 6. Are we together? So if we do that, we'll simply have that m square, right, minus what? 5 what? M plus what? 6 will be equal to what? 0. Looking at this equation, this is a quadratic equation. We know that our m1 is simply what? Our m1 is simply 2, and our m what? Our m2 will be simply what? Our m2 will be what? 3. Now what is the complementary what? Function of our given equation? The complementary function of this equation will simply be what? YCF will now be equal to a exponential raised to the power of what? 2x plus what? B exponential raised to the power of what? 3x. This is the complementary function of our given what? Auxiliary what? Equation. The next thing is to get your particular what? Integral from your given equation. Are we together? Now, I told you that for you to get your particular integral, you introduce an equation that is similar to the equation given to us. Remember, we are given a trig function. So the equation we are going to introduce now will be having what? A trig function, and it will be similar to what we have here. Now, if you want to introduce an equation for your particular integral, we'll simply have that your ypi, which is your particular what? Integral, your ypi will simply be equal to what? A cos what? 4x plus what? B sine what? 4x, such that your equation will be having a similar equation with your what? Equation, your differential equation given to you. Are we together? And remember, our equation was a homogeneous function, and the homogeneous function was what? 2 sine what? 4x. So since our interest is our 4x, we are going to introduce an equation for your particular integral that will be having a trig function with respect to what? 4x. That was why we introduced this particular what? Integral what? Equation to be what? A cos 4x plus what? B sine what? 4x. Are we together? Now after doing that, what do you do first? The first thing is to differentiate. Why are we differentiating? We are differentiating such that we can achieve a balanced equation as our given what? Differential equation. So we are going to differentiate this equation twice. So we are going to differentiate the first one. We are differentiating the first one, which is what? The y over what? Dx. If you differentiate this equation, dy over dx, if you differentiate what you have here will simply be what? Minus 4. If you differentiate cos, you will simply have what? Minus sine, which is what? Sine 4x. Plus, if you differentiate what you have here, you will simply have what? 4b, right? Cos what? 4x. Are we together? Now, we've differentiated once. Let's differentiate again to achieve a balanced equation as our given what? Equation here. Are we together? So if we do that, we'll simply have that the square y over what? Dx square will simply be equal to, we want to differentiate this again. If you are differentiating this again, this will simply give you what? If you differentiate 4x here, you will simply have 4, right? So you have 4 multiplied by 4 here, and that will give you what? 16. So this will give you what? Minus what? 16a. If you differentiate sine, you have what? Cos. So you have cos 4x plus what? 4b cos what? 4x. If you differentiate, you simply have this to be what? Minus what? 16. Because 4 is outside, so we have 4 times 4 is 16. b, right? Sine what? Sine 4x. So if we simplify this further, we'll simply have this to be minus 16a cos what? 4x minus, we cancel out because minus times plus is minus. So you have minus 16b sine what? 4x. So you can see that you've gotten a balanced equation as our given what? Differential what? Equation. What do you do next? You pick this equation and you replace it with wherever we are seeing our what? Given equation to be what? D square y over dx square minus 5dy over dx plus what? 6, and that will be equal to what? 2 sine what? 4x. Are we together? So if we do that, we'll simply have our balanced equation to be, the first thing you need to do is to get what is d square y over what? Dx square. We have that to be what? Minus 16. So you have minus 16a cos 4x. This will be very long, so take it bit by bit. Minus what? 16b sine what? 4x. Are we together? The next thing is, go back to your equation. We are given minus 5 dy over dx. So you have minus 5, right? So you have minus 5 here. What's dy over dx? Dy over dx was simply what? Minus 4a sine what? 4x. So we are picking this into that equation. We'll simply have minus what? 4a sine what? A sine 4x plus 4b cos what? 4x. Are we together? Now, what's the next thing we are going to do? Remember, your equation is given to have what? Plus 6y. So what's your plus 6y? You simply have this to be what? Plus 6. And what's your y? Your y was given to be what? A what? A cos what? 4x plus what? B sine 4x. Are we together? So this is what you have, and this is equal to what? 2 sine what? 4x. Are we together? So what you simply do is you simplify your right hand side, which is what you have here. Are we together? Simplifying our right hand side, we can collect like terms, and if we collect like terms, we can group. What you do is you group terms by what? Cos 4x and what? Sine 4x. So we are grouping cos 4x one side, we are grouping what? Sine 4x one side. Now if you do that, you will simply have that what you have here will be minus 16a. This is having cos 4x. So you have minus 16a minus 20b plus what? 6a. And these are the values for what? Cos 4x. Confirm that. What's the next one? The next one is we are grouping for sine x. So this will be minus 16 what? We'll simply have 16b. So we have 16b. So this is 16b plus what? 20a plus what? 6 what? B. And this is for what? Sine 4x. Are we done? No, we are not done. Since we've grouped for your cos 4x and your what? Sine 4x, we can still simplify further from what we are seeing here. And if we simplify further, we'll simply have that what you have there will be equal to what? Minus 10a minus what? 20 what? B cos 4x. And we're still simplifying. So what can we factor out here? We can still factor out plus 20a. So what we have here will simply be what? Plus what? Bracket 20a minus what? 10b. And this is for what? Sine 4x. That's what we have. And this is equal to what? 2 sine what? 2 sine 4x. That's what we have here. And this is equated to what? 2 sine 4x. So if we simplify what we have here, we'll simply arrive at our new value, which is what? Minus 10a minus 20b cos what? 4x plus 20a minus what? 10b. This is for what? Sine 4x. Are we together? So what we simply do is we solve the what? We solve the coefficient. We solve for what? The coefficient. Are we together? Solving for the coefficient, we are going to compare. In terms of solving for the coefficient, what are we going to do? We are going to what? Compare. and if we compare, we'll simply have for the first one here, which is what? Minus 10a minus what? 20b. If we compare, this will be equal to 0. So what we do is we compare to get each of them here. So let's start with a. So if we start with a, this will be what? Minus 10a minus what? 20b, and this will be equal to 0. If you want to compare to get a, we are taking all other values to the other side. This is crossing an equality sign, and we have what? Minus 10a, and this will be what? 20 what? b. So if you want to find a, this will be minus 10, right? This will be what? Minus 10. So what we have there will be what? A will now be equal to what? We have a there to be what? Minus what? 2b. Are we together? So we can call this equation asterisk. Let's compare the next one. Comparing the next one, we have that what? 20a minus what? 10b will now be equal to what? Equal to what? 2. Remember, we are comparing this with what? 2. So if we compare this with 2, we are simply having that 20a minus what? 10b will be equal to what? 2. So if we do that, we'll simply have that what we have here will now be, remember, what is a? A is what? Minus 2 minus what? 2b. So we are replacing anywhere we see a with what? Minus 2b. So what we have here will simply be what? 20 into minus what? 2b minus 10b, and this will be equal to what? 2. Are we together? Now what do we have here? This will simply give us what? Minus 2 times this will be minus what? 40 what? B minus what? 10b, and this will be equal to what? 2. Are we together? So minus 40 minus 10 give us minus 50b, and this will be equal to what? 2. Are we done? No, we are not done. So since we are not done, we have to get what is what? What is b? So from what we have there, we can see that our b is now equal to what? 2 divided by minus 50, and this will give us what? 1 divided by what? Minus what? 25. So this is the value for your b. So what you do is, since you've gotten the value for your b, impute b into equation x. So if you impute b into equation x, we simply have that our a will now be what? Minus 2 into 1 over what? 25. This is minus outside, alright? So if you do that, you simply have that your a will now be what? 2 divided by what? 25. Are we together? So we've gotten the value for your b, and we've also gotten the value for your what? Your a. Are we together? So what you do is you impute those values into our given equation for our what? Pi, which is particular what? Integral. So your particular integral equation will now be what? A, which is what? We've gotten a. So we have that our particular integral equation, which is ypi, will now be equal to a cos what? We have a cos what? 4x plus what? B sine what? 4x. That's what we have there, right? Let's confirm that. This is a cos 4x plus what? B sine what? 4x. So since we have a cos 4x plus what? B sine 4x, we impute the values for a and b. And if we impute the values for a and b, we'll simply have that our a here is what? Minus 1 over what? 25 what? Cos 4x plus what? B is what? 2 over 25. So we have this to be 2 over what? 25 what? Sine 4x. Are we together? Now what you simply do is recall your general what? Solution. That your general solution is simply what? Your general solution is YCF plus what? PI, which is YPI. Are we together? Now if you impute those values together, you've already calculated for your CF, which is your complementary what? Complementary function. And our complementary function was given to be what? A exponential 2x plus b exponential 3x. So here you simply have a exponential 2x plus what? B exponential what? 3x plus what is now your YPI? Your YPI is given to be minus 1 over what? 25 plus what? 4x plus 2 over what? 25 sine what? 4x. So we can write this equation very well in a new page, and we simply have that our general solution, you tell your examiner that your general solution will now be equal to, what is your CF? Your CF is A exponential 2x. So you have this to be what? A exponential what? 2x plus what? B exponential 3x plus, what is now your PI? We are simplifying our PI. So if we simplify our PI, what we have there as plus will be minus, because plus times minus is what? Minus. So what we have here will simply be what? Minus, not plus. So this will be minus 1 over what? 25, right? So we have 1 over 25 there, minus 1 over 25 cos 4x. So you simply have minus 1 over 25 cos what? 4x. And this will be what? Minus what? 2 over what? 25 sine what? 4x. So if we write this equation very well, we have a general solution to be y, and y will now be equal to what? A exponential 2x plus what? B exponential what? 3x minus 1 over what? 25 cos what? 4x minus what? 2 over what? 25, right? Let's confirm that. And that is 2 over 25. Very good. So you have 2 over 25 sine 4x. Are we together? So this is what you were asked to calculate for. Is it not simple? It's very simple. So follow the steps and get your general solution for your given equation for your second order ordinary differential equation. Please do well to like, to share, and to what? To drop a comment on the comment section. And also do well to click the subscribe button.